ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Joe D.
Hey there, I am Dr. Jody Baer, and we are back. I know you have missed Doctor Talk, ladies and gentlemen, but things kind of happen when you've got 5 doctors, 4 doctors. We're all actively in practice, all giving our message, all doing all the things that we do always. So I know that back to school started at the end of August, but we are doing a back to school year. Why? Because children are so important. So just get ready and to get absolutely inspired for the younger generation today. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Dr. Jody Baer, known as America's top foundational health coach and holistic practitioner for now 43 years. I focus on foundations of health, foundations of living, and foundations of hope. Spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, that's what we're talking about today, and financially. During my 43 years, I've been honored to have 30,000 of my clients regain and reclaim their health in 1.1 million pounds of toxic fat lost. And in the COVID era, over 3,000 of my client patients have had that restart, have reclaimed, as I said, regained and rejuvenated their health. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, the best news, the next health, the next rejuvenation, the next pounds lost can be yours. My quote, my personal quote, and I hope you embody my quote: health is not something you do. It's what you become along life's journey. Les Brown says it is possible for you to open up a key to the whole new future of you. That unlimited power that you have within yourself. All you have to do is say, it's possible, I'm possible, but guess what? Our Doctor Talk panel will make you believe too that you are possible too. Just take my hand. Take my hand with this wonderful, wonderful just symposium of, I was thinking the other day, that when we have all doctors combined, we have over 162 years of experience. That's twice the mean age of y'all out there if they're in North America. So we are live. We delve into that one topic each and every 4th Thursday of the month. And I'm going to look at my phone and give you the next date because we have taken 2 months off. It'll be the 26th of October. 2-6. Boy, that's a great day. 2-6. You put 26 together and it's 8. What does the number 8 stand for in numerology? It stands for motivation. It stands for movement. It talks about brilliance and abundance. I'm going to come back to that in a minute for sure. But these healing practitioners that are with me today, well, as you know, that story that I said, my vision of 1984, that was that goal card that I had when I had the miraculous encounter. Because these encounters are not just for me. Ladies and gentlemen, they are for you too. That incredible encounter where I saw Dr. Hulda Clark on the Phil Donahue show. She was talking about ADHD. This was the first year of my son in pre-kindergarten. They gave him the diagnosis. Now, I was only into health coaching for 4 years, had 1 certification, was going for 2. But I knew enough inside of my knower. I wasn't going to have him labeled. He wasn't going to get a psychotropic drug. I knew there was a simple, effective, and practical way to get through this. I sought out Dr. Hulda Clark with everything I had. 1984, I found out she lived in Atlanta. That's where I lived. We had no GPS, no MapQuest, no internet, not even dial-up, not a cell phone among us. So I just started asking. Do anyone know in Alpharetta where Dr. Hulda Clark lives? I found her. You see, if you need something for your child, you're a parent, you're a teacher that just cares, a older sibling, maybe a caretaker, there is an answer for you today that's simple, effective, and practical. Dr. Hulda Clark said to me when I knocked on her door, well, I'm not taking any more client patients. You see, I'm semi-retired. I'm 70. Why is this important? Because I'm turning 70 myself this year. So you just never know how things come around full circle. But this is what happened in health for me this week. Absolutely. It was a combination of what happened in 1984. You see, Dr. Hulda Clark took this young health coach, 32 years old, and absolutely burned the fire that has been a unquenchable inferno since then. She mentored me. I wrote on this goal card that I will pen the Eastern medical version of the PDR. For those of you that don't know, the PDR is that red book that sits behind the shelf on most Western MD's offices. Well, this is what we did this day last week, this week, actually just 2 days ago. And I want to say big shout out to two of our Dr. Talk Symposium professionals, Renee Brown, who you'll hear from in just a moment, of Next Level Recovery, and Dr. Michael Price. Renee wrote in the mental health segment, of course, being the CEO of the largest recovery and recovery housing east of east of California. Dr. Michael Price, because of our friend of a friend, just a conduit like none other, Bill Janekshak, introduced me to Dr. Michael Price. Big kudos for you, Dr. Janekshak, because Dr. Michael Price wrote about food elimination. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this today, but his take on this for brain health, ladies and gentlemen, parents, just get a copy of the book. Get a copy of the book because it will give you that piece of the puzzle, how Dr. Michael talks about it. And I'm going to be putting this up on the screen in just a moment. But I want to finish out our introductions. Dr. Mike Van Thielen, now a TEDx certified speaker, expert on biohacking, world record holder in the master's division, many divisions in swimming, holistic nutritionist, and the one that gave me a lease on life when I had stage 4 situation with melanoma. I was his first patient. And he decided, the competitive part of Dr. Mike, that he wasn't going to be 0-1, that I would live. That was 24 years ago. See, we all have situations where we need natural health, natural solutions. And natural solutions is Dr. Bill Janekshak from Yorba Linda, California. He brings NLP even into his chiropractic care. He's a functional neurologist, and he has stress just living and relieving takes on things. And for you to know, before we go to our commercial break, and then we bring on these wonderful, wonderful, actually, they're my professional friends. They're my family, for real, for real. But I will tell you that our next date on October 26th, we're going to be talking about the immune system. We're getting ready for the fall and winter months. What can you do to say your immune system, I'm immune from any disease? It can start with I, and it goes to you. So I'm going to bring up our one more round on our Healthpedia vision, my vision in 1984. I'm going to just throw in something else. I found the goal card. See, there are no coincidences, as Bernie Siegel said, no coincidences that I found this goal card in the height of the pandemic. I was cleaning out closets. Who wasn't cleaning out closets during the pandemic? We all were. And out fell this goal card. I will pen the Eastern medical version of the PDR. What was I looking? I was looking for help for a parent who in the pandemic had a child, a young boy, a little bit older than my youngest son, but he was off the rails, being locked up because they diagnosed him with ADHD. And I thought, I bet I've got those Hulda Clark notes somewhere. By golly, by gee, I found them. And that's where the gold card came out. You see, everything has a mission and it starts with a vision. Now let's bring it back to fruition. How? And how do we do this? We do this one life, one situation that we health, one preventative situation at a time. Here is our curtain call for Healthopedia.
While being mentored and studying with the iconic pioneer in natural healer, Dr. Hulda Clark, and experiencing her life-changing practices and protocols, a goal card was written and dated in 1984 stated, "I will write the Eastern medical version of the PDR, Physician's Desk Reference. The universe delivered a sign to actualize this goal. Now in 2023, we are experiencing vision and mission into fruition. Healthopedia has arrived, led by the iconic 20th and 21st century icon, Dr. Bernie Siegel, MD, author of Love, Medicine, and Miracles, along with 42 extraordinary healing world changers that will motivate, educate, inspire, and propel you along your own path to wholeness, wellness, and abundance. Every compelling story will uplift you to your own epiphany of health isn't something you do, it's what you become along life's journey."
So you see that we have the book launch. It happened on the 26th of September. That motivate, that number 8. And yes, these healers will motivate you today. Health isn't something you do. It's what you become along life's journey. And as I welcome to the stage, Renee Brown, Dr. Mike Van Thielen, and Dr. Bill Janekshak, my soul tribe in wellness and health. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So Renee, just give us your next 8 minutes. We've got time today because there are only 4 of us. Just your take on this about the kids. Please, the stage is yours.
All right. So my name is Renee and I work in the field of mental health and addiction. So I'm going to address today's topic with a twist, with the emphasis on mental health as well as well-being. My share today will be family to family style. We are all different, but we can look to seek the same common goals with our own personalities. One of the greatest game changers for our family concerning health and mental health has been an emphasis on food preparation and our diets. When I was young, I never sang. I didn't like my voice, and I felt anxious whenever people around me started to sing. When I became a mother, I sang without any personal considerations to soothe my babies, my children. Now I continue to sing. I sing popular songs with my teenagers. Sometimes we will try to sing some of the songs from Frozen, the ones with the really high notes. And I'll tell you what, it's about a near guarantee that we will all fall apart and just laugh at ourselves. So where I'm going with this is about nutrition. I wasn't on the best track before I had kids. But once these babies are born, it's so funny about all of the things that we will do and we will learn just for them. My kids have inspired me to go well outside of my comfort zone, to make sure that nutritional foods are available and prepared to be flavorful. When I had my firstborn baby, her name's Michelle, I wanted everything to be nutritious. And I have to say that what it did is it really changed the way my husband and I were eating as a couple. And we really have never been the same since. Now, something interesting about Michelle is that when she became a toddler, she would only eat a handful of items or less. These foods also rotated on a daily basis. I couldn't count on a single food to be safe, even for the very next day. Now, this continued until she was about 9 years old. We took her for food therapy when she was about 7, and I learned a lot of lessons for the whole family. First, the first rule of thumb is to make food fun. Let your toddlers and children play with food An example is stirring the ice cream with different fruits and even some natural food coloring, jams, what have you. You can also finger paint with peanut butter and other foods. When my children entered middle childhood, what we would do, and this was just the craziest, but we would all sneak food from the pan off of the stove. And it just made everything just a little bit more fun. Now, occasionally we played like we were camping and we ate out of what we called our camping plates. Another favorite for my girls was using miniature plates and forks from their tea sets. So now they're teens and they still love the miniature silverware. I found some fun sets for appetizers off of Amazon. These techniques have helped us to introduce new foods for not only my firstborn, Michelle, but for our two younger daughters as well. Food therapy taught me that I needed to avoid commenting on what my child might not like or what they should like. This can easily cause a power struggle at any age. The real trick is to make happy sounds. You know, the all of that makes such a difference, and make positive statements about your own meal. I learned that this is like yawning. The rest of the family is likely to contagiously follow. Another thing that my husband and I have avoided is talking about our children. Also avoided talking about how healthy or how unhealthy something might be on our dinner plate. This is something that can easily trigger an eating disorder in a child as young as 5 years old. So you might be wondering about how to cater to the different age groups. Well, the truth is, our taste buds are always changing. And in fact, they change about every 2 weeks, even throughout our adulthood. I looked up what the taste preferences are for children developmentally, and here's what I found. Babies and toddlers often like sweeter foods. This begins from breastfeeding. Breast milk is relatively sweet. Fruits can be used to flavor other varieties of food if needed after your baby is about 6 months old. School-age children are more likely to try new foods and develop a wider variety of taste. They may also start to develop preferences for certain types of food, such as American, Mexican, or Chinese cuisine. This might be a great time to talk about your family heritage. Teenagers' taste buds are much more similar to adults' taste buds. They may be more interested in trying new foods and experimenting with different flavors. They may also be more likely to be influenced by their peers in popular culture to address mental health directly, because sometimes this is needed, like the beginning of a school year or a major test. You might want to look at some cookbooks that are designed with recipes to improve different conditions. Now, these just first started to come out about 5 to 7 years ago, and I couldn't believe how many that I'm able to find whenever I'm looking. So different conditions could include anxiety, depression, our moods, and there are plenty of recipes that are also designed to help improve our focus and sustainable energy. All you have to do is Google something like cookbooks that are designed to improve mental health. Cooking with your children allows you time to talk and to bond. You can get curious together about how each dish might make you feel. And we're always looking to improve everything we make. And we just have so much fun with it as a family. Michelle now cooks for our family fairly often. Our other children have thrived as I've learned how to work with our most fussy eater. Now my firstborn eats a wide variety of foods. Weaknesses can become your strength. And I've continued to learn this from my children's experiences. Michelle's feeding weaknesses became all of our strength as a family. Of all the members of the house, Michelle promotes enjoyable homemade meals. She even makes homemade marshmallows. She took it to the next level. We have had her involved in our food preparation since she has been a toddler, and our other children have also enjoyed joining in. Meal prep and good nutrition is a process. Stay gentle with yourself and allow yourself to have as much fun as you can. Mealtime can be connecting and filled with fond memories. Now, just as I have had to focus on my firstborn's challenges, you can find a way to overcome obstacles in your own family. Just remember, meal prep can be like singing a ridiculously high note. We can just laugh at ourselves and move on.
Jody.
Oh no.
And
I muted myself. So, ridiculously a high note. I tell you, when we get together in Boca and have our Healthopedia live summit, we'll have to sing our version of Frozen. Okay, shall we, Renee? And I want to say one more time, thank you for the part that you did in our Healthopedia, bringing this to fruition, just like a beautiful meal prep. What a beautiful message. And thank you for everything you've done just to take a curtain call with that, because as busy as you are, you didn't have to say yes, but you did. I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Jody.
And now we have front and stage. You never know what's going to happen if you miss us for 2 months. We have a new best-selling author. And by the way, I'm going to say it again, in 2 extremely challenging categories. Number 1 in 3 countries so far. We have till Sunday, and I'll be putting up the link so you can get your copy of Healthopedia. Not only in Kindle version, it is 562 pages. That's why it's $1.99. We couldn't make it free. All right, Amazon wouldn't let us do that. But it's in paperback, and it will be downloaded today in hard copy. It just took a while to get it, but number 1 in alternative medicine and holistic healing. That was important to me. I didn't need 9,000 categories. I wanted the 2 most challenging, because this is what we've done, is going out front in the world of alternative healing. And boy, now out front, what has Dr. Mike Van Thielen done in the last 2 months since we've been together? Congratulations, Dr. Mike, biohacking expert, holistic nutritionist, acupuncture physician, and everything else. And now he can add best-selling author and TEDx speaker. So the next 8 minutes, Dr. Mike, are yours. Take it away.
Yes, thank you for having me again. Great job, Renee. Of course, I was planning on talking about nutrition too, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm glad that you really emphasized the fact that, we as parents shape our children, right, until they're independent. So it's very important because they become a product of the environment. So, as a mother and the instincts, we all hope that mothers try to do better when they have those children and do whatever it takes to, even modify behavior that's not as healthy, especially when it comes to nutrition. So you gave some great tips. Thanks for that. So I'll just talk about something else. I think that obviously, and this is just something that mothers and parents need to think about, because when we're born, we're pushed in a certain direction by society, right? We got to go to elementary school, middle school, high school, hopefully college, and then we have to work for somebody till we're 65, and then there's the golden years, which usually don't come. Or we're pushed in a certain direction by our teachers or our parents. Because if dad's a lawyer, he probably wants you to go to law school. His mom's a doctor, he probably wants you to go to med school. And so parents, we really need to be careful not to project on our children and let them be who they want to be. If they don't want to be a lawyer and a doctor, and they want to go into arts, or they have other skills, let them explore those, because it's not always about making money or thinking that a certain job won't pay the bills. it doesn't matter what you do. If you're good at it and you're passionate about it, you're always going to make a living, even if it's arts or performance, something you may not be comfortable with. It's about letting the child discover their superpowers and their passions. And so I think that's message number one. Message number two is that we need to also realize that the system that we're pushed into doesn't fit everybody. So, for example, the school system, because this is about the kids going back to school, it's usually those kids that get in trouble. Here's one of them. That are bored to tears because they don't fit in there. They're not designed to sit still. They usually and often are smarter or have more common sense than the people that are talking in front of the class. So if your kid always comes home in trouble, or the teacher says they never pay attention, or they cause trouble, or they can't sit still, it doesn't mean your kid has ADHD or your kid is a troubled kid. It probably means they are super talented and they are bored. And so that's one thing that you got to think about, is just don't listen to those teachers and reprimand your kid for being normal, probably even extra talented, because they're bored. I mean, I'm bored in 20 minutes if I sit to listen to something that doesn't interest me, and I'm an adult with far less energy than the kids. So that brings me to topic number 3. Kids have so much energy. They are not designed to sit still day in, day out for hours and hours. The kids that can do that are the exceptions, and those are the ones that probably have something quote unquote wrong with them, because they're supposed to move, they expend their energy. And so today it's even worse, because we have social media and we have parents that use social media as a babysitter. So they already sat still all day. Now you pick them up, and so they need to expend their energy. They need to be outdoors. They need to be playing. They need to be moving. They need to go expend their energy in the field, doing sports, whatever it is. Please don't put them again in the couch in front of the TV or with some, gaming console or whatever it may be. So we need to think about those 3 top things here, right? It's like, if you don't fit in the system, that doesn't mean that you're abnormal. You probably have more talents and you're bored. Number 2, you're not designed to sit still. So if your kid is a troublemaker, don't put them on medication to keep them quiet. Now you're altering the developing brain. You are doing your child, your loved one, a disservice. You need to just then make sure that if you want to keep them in school, that you channel that energy after and before school, with sports and outdoor activities. And then obviously that nutrition and diet that Renee talked about eloquently needs to be incorporated. But I just wanted to give you guys a different perspective. And there's so many kids and even adults now that are on Ritalin, Wellbutrin, Adderall, because they supposedly have that too much energy, and that's just totally a totally wrong concept, right? So expend that energy, spend that energy. Don't try to subdue that energy, and try to have that energy focused on meaningful things, which is not playing video games or being on social media, right? Is channel that energy in something very meaningful, life building, skill building, etc. I've been talking to many adults and children lately about focus and productivity because, especially since the pandemic, there's so many diagnoses of anxiety, depression, ADHD, etc. And yes, there's therapies and drugs out there, but again, we need to sometimes look further too. And what I found to be a common denominator is lack of purpose in adults and children. We need to find what people are passionate about, what their purpose is. And when people are passionate about it, it's much easier to overcome obstacles and to be productive and to focus on something. If we're asking our kids to focus on something they're not interested in, I'm right there with them. It's only going to last 30 minutes and I'm distracted and I'll be doing something else. But if it's something that I'm passionate about, that I want to learn, then I'm going to be fully engaged. So parents, please, explore with your kids what they are passionate about, what their purpose is, and let them expend their energy that way. And don't judge them because they're not interested in the same things that you are.
Yes. Let's see, I couldn't find the button. I did in the same thing. This is a perfect segue with our book, Mike, because Dr. Bernie Siegel said to me, I had 5 kids and none of them went to be a medical doctor. But he said to me, but they each found what they were passionate about. You are spot on with this. And he said, well, I've got 2 lawyers. At least they saw the purpose of being professionals. And he said, they kept me out of trouble. So you never know. So thank you, Mike, for that message. Passionate, your superpower, because that's how you behind that. Yeah, that eyes on method and everything else behind those starting blocks for sure, and purpose. So you're gonna love one of our sponsors along to our Healthopedia is now Dr. Mark Chavez and this is his ball that he's made, which is it's gravity ball. Talk about movement. Take a look, take a listen to one of our sponsors, and then we'll be back to you, Dr. Bill. And when we're back in February to our live event, I just want you to know there'll be 3 senior citizens that are going to be doing the gravity ball. Dr. Mike created. You're going to love this, and Dr. Bill. And by the way, Dr. Bill, Dr. Mark is down very close to you in Yorba Linda. I got to hook you 2 up. But the idea is he created this because his dad was a power lifter, hurt his wrists, and he wanted something that was good for him, like Pilates, like weights. And I'm telling you, it's made all the difference in the world. So check it out. There's a 2.0 version that's coming. I've got the OG version. But Dr. Bill, I'm the OG with this, with the birthday in 4 months, but you certainly aren't. I just want to say thank you for being you. Thank you for giving us, I know, this purpose and passion with back to school children. I want to know what are we going to get in that meat suit today?
Well, you never know. First of all, I want to say congratulations to you. You're amazing. You are absolutely amazing, the things that you've done. And, if you remember, you're supposed to be retired, right? And you were called out of retirement, and during the pandemic when we first met, you had your book, you had your other book, you keep on going, you don't slow down. And not only that, I mean, nowadays it's a lot easier to get a book. Anybody can get a book, but to have the impact that you've had is amazing. And that goes to show about not only your expertise for what you said, 43 years in the industry. Nobody stays in anything that long without there's a deep desire and there's a passion that goes on. That I always say it's the thing that you can't not do.
Yes.
And the networking that you had in order, because you can't sell a book on your own. You are awesome, but you don't have that superpower yet. But because of your connections, the respect that people have for you, things like this, that you're going out to reaching people, you're constantly going out and creating a positive impact on everyone you meet. And because of that, people are saying good things about you, and they're going, well, if she's that good of a lady for 43 years in the industry, and she's putting out a publication that started as a seed in 1984 to come out to get it on 2 of the toughest lists at number 1, I want you to stop, because I know when you're busy like that, it's kind of a blur and then things happen. Just take a moment and look at the the true impact that you had. I mean, kudos to you. That it's unbelievable. No, it is believable because you had a goal, you had a mindset to keep going. So first of all, that's what I want to just take a moment for you.
I'm going to say thank you, Bill. That was just beautiful. But you know what I say? If you spot it, you got it.
Yep. Hey, I like that. That is awesome. As for this topic of everybody's going back to school, and Mike and Renee said just about everything. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I didn't need to be here. Mike covered everything that was going on, and you've been killing it too, Mike. I mean, unbelievable. So anybody listening to this, you're coming from not only the experts that can get the message across, the books, the TEDx, everything else that's going on. All three of you guys are awesome, but I always say, the proof is in the pudding, because there's a lot of people that can speak from a stage and you look at them behind the curtain and it's a little bit different. But look at everybody, the way that you're living the life, and then the passions that you're having. Mike was talking about, I agree 1,000% with you as you're going on. Kids are going back into school. In schools, it's funny, as the kids naturally kids are natural learners, they're natural movers, they're going to find things to learn and be if they're given the chance. Unfortunately, schools nowadays, they tend to want to grab more, and they want to contain kids more and more and more, and that's fighting nature. I mean, you look at the crap that they try to pass off as food. They're giving free crap away in the schools, at least here in California. I don't know how it is for I don't know how it is for America, but in California, they're giving free calories away. There's no nutrients involved. They tend to take more of the free time and the exercise and the recesses and stuff, the free time where their kids need to get out and play. It's interesting. Mike was raising his hand. I've been suspended from every school that I've been into except junior high and junior college. For some reason, people got a pass, and it was always for the same reason. It was the administration's lack of sense of humor. And but it goes to show that there's an energy in there, and we're not all robots, because the way the schools were designed were to make good factory workers. You stand when the bell here, listen to who's ever the boss at the head of the now they're teaching to the tests instead of the kids' innate abilities and the like. I was a terrible student. We always joke about I have more degrees than the thermometer right now, but back then I was in such anxiety whenever there was a test or something, when they had to get on point. I understood stuff, I just couldn't get it out until I found out that I was a kinesthetic visual learner instead of just this route auditory person. But it goes back to what Mike was saying, was we all have our passions, and just because it doesn't fit into the model that they're looking for doesn't mean that the kids are any less. And a lot of times they're going to be more than. Einstein would have been on Adderall back in the day, and Tesla would have been put in a straitjacket. So, but it's because the minds are working at a different level, and we have to give them kudos and give them room to grow, room to be. Because if we stifle the kids now, we're not going to have a Renee Brown and a Jody and a Mike to go to, because look what you guys done, but it's based on passion. And we can't stifle the passion in the kids. And if they're trying to be a square peg fit in a round hole, especially in the developmental years, that their self-esteem, they would go, why have you even try? I'm a fish out of water. Yeah. And if you try to take a bird and throw him in the lake, and you want to judge him on how he swims, he's going to have a different perspective. But eagles got to fly. So anybody listening here with kids that are back in school over there, I would first, before you start having meetings with teachers and stuff, if there's an issues or something, is ask yourself, what are your kids' superpowers? What are they interested in? How do you leverage what they're interested in and anchor that into something that they need to learn? You know, the 3 R's, we got to make sure that we're getting our reading, writing, and arithmetic down, but anchor it to something that they're enjoying. And get out the basic. Mike nailed it. The kids need to move. And like, look at Mike. He's obviously in his late 20s, and he's out there swimming. He's out there just still killing it to this day because of movement. And we forget that. You know, we talk a lot about nutrition. Nutrition is very, very important. I do that all the time. But we seem to underpin the importance of that movement, that built up energy that's naturally in the kids. If they can't get it out and express it, it's going to come across as spitwads at the teacher and, you know, poking the girl next to you and, you know, screaming out in class, because it's an overload. It's a pressure release. If they're not getting their brain stimulated, that's what when you have kids that can't move around or they can't sit still, but you're tying them down, that's their brain going, I got to move. It's like having a stallion in a barn. You got to let that thing fly. So in order to do that, because I had this question a lot at my practice in the last few weeks, because, you know, back to school and everything, and all the teachers, the aides, administrators, they're dropping like flies. I got a cold. And even I have a few patients that are new teachers, and they have all the OGs that are sitting over there saying, well, get prepared. You're going to be sick all year, which is great mindset. But as they're going around, just get down to the basics. Eat real food. Make sure that you're sleeping really good. You know, get your vitamins, get your, you know, make sure that all the question marks are off your plate. Get your basic vitamins and minerals. Get your water, you know, the hydrogen water, you know, Mike talked about, get that stuff and make sure that the basics are covered. Your immune system knows what to do. It's going to recognize little squigglies and here and that. You don't need little things from outside getting poked in you to get any better than you need. You're innately awesome. If you give the body what it needs, it'll take care of itself. And when you're getting around there, get the kids out, just like I said, exercise. And this is a perfect, as a chiropractor, this is a perfect time that we bring people in, because it's a milestone. It's a good reminder. Get the kids in there and start to look at their general posture. As the kids develop, you know, and we're looking at, you know, the big screen, the little screen, we're sitting there watching YouTube and everything else. So they tend to go like this. We say is the twig is bent, so grows the tree. So if we can straighten the twig out early on, we don't have any problems. But posture has a lot to do with brain health. It has a lot to do with your musculoskeletal health. It has a lot to do with your innate nervous system, digestion, elimination. And posture is not just an aesthetic thing, but it's a functional, physical thing that you have to take care of. It's just a perfect way. Go to your local chiropractor and have them check it out and see how you're doing.
But have them be recommended by Dr. Bill. So we're going to continue this. And you know what? I've just got to say this before our next commercial break. I love the way we just feed into each other. Y'all, if you're listening to this either live or rebroadcast, we didn't plan this. Bill was on a little bit late because the link didn't work. He didn't even know about immune system. This was not planned. So when we get the cleanup hitter, which is today, you're not even going to believe this. This was not planned because we are kindred spirits. Let's take a look. Take a listen. The best thing you can do for your body is be alkaline. And the best way is with Vibra 360. some good coffee, because when your body is alkaline, you stay refreshed. When your body is alkaline, you will be disease free. And that's just the way it goes. I guess I just wanted to put you on the spotlight again, Bill. But I was just thinking about this because in Chinese ancient, and it's the best medicine, just my personal opinion, but we've got 5 things. Your children are like mini adults. These are the 5 things. Parents, get these 5 things. Bill said it well. The food is just crap. I went ahead and gave my children every single day, almost forever. They said, "Can we not get a sandwich with your bread, Mom?" I said, the answer is no. And so give them real food, and their future self will be glad about it, because my children who are adults in their 40s now eat organically. They eat healthy. It's plant-based with my oldest son, which he just decided on his own when he was a senior in college. He said, "I'm just eliminating the meat." And he went ahead and got his best year ever as an All-American swimmer. Got it. Mike knows that well. Dr. Mike knows that well. But I want to come back to these 5 things. What are they? Prayer, meditation. Jason Estes, who's in our book, said to go ahead, and he was an exceptional child with dyslexia and branded ADHD. And his mother was an advocate, just like I was an advocate for my son. I knew that he didn't have to be in that box. What I did before I met Hulda Clark, I made sure he did his prayers, but we meditated in the morning before he was taken to school by me, because I drove them. And then right after school, we did a meditation. Prayer once, meditate twice. Why? Because prayer is you're talking to the Almighty. Meditation, you're revamping your brain. We've already talked about great supplementation. I'm going to go a little bit into this because we all come from the same path. Exercise, movement. That's when I found swimming, and I found out that this distance swimming could tire him out because he always had an extra gear. Worked perfectly. All right. And then that movement. But let's not forget physiotherapy. Dr. Bill put that in. Physiotherapy, get that posture worked on. It makes all the difference, because when you do these 5 things, prayer, meditation, supplementation, exercise, and physiotherapy, you will give me 5 for your children and adults. Those will give energy and vitality to longevity. I'm living proof. But I want to come back, because that's what that diagnosis was for my son. I said that earlier on Hulda Clark, what she said to me after, yes, I took in front of her, it looked like a barn, but it was really a house when I met her and knocked on the door in 1984. Now, you probably wouldn't do that in today and time, but I did it then. And she said, "I'm not taking any patients." Well, he was really cute. All right. He didn't look a thing like me, but the husband was handsome too. But he had my big eyes, but they were blue, this blonde hair. Mike, you can probably identify. That's probably exactly what she looked like, but he didn't have curly hair. And I said, Dr. Clark, you're going to turn away this. And on cue, my son just went, he posed because he was just that sharp. But what Dr. Hulda Clark said on that Phil Donahue show, and the thing that she said to me, was exactly what the 3 things that we were talking about, our 3 doctor talk. It's kind of like making it imaginative, painting your food with and doing this thing and singing and having an experience. Life is an experience. Jay Nolan gave me our coach and the CEO and founder of MYB Publishing said to me on our 21 hours that we had on live TV. And yes, you can watch that on a replay. You can go to YouTube. My channel is at Dr. Jody, or you can key into it live. Our 21 hours of live before we launched our book on Traverse TV. It will be pay-per-view after the next 2 weeks, so check it out. But Jay Nolan said, Jody Baer doesn't go through life, she lives life. And I believe that's what these children that get put in that box do. And I told Dr. Clark, I said, I don't think he's got ADHD. I just think he's me with testosterone. And she laughed. She thought that was humorous, but she said, yes, that's true. It's just like what what was told to Jason Estes' mother, having a dual diagnosis of dyslexia and ADHD. She said, my son is just gifted. Hilda Clark said the same thing. She said, perhaps the most brilliant children just need to grow into that brilliance. Mike, you said it great, Dr. Mike. That's what happened. And as we found those simple, effective ways, and it was through the 5 things, through all of those things. And she because she was at one time a physical therapist, she did some manipulation on him. We just went into that piece of praying and meditating twice. Exercise, of course, was his swimming, but supplementation, I want to just throw this out, and then we'll go ahead and we'll have a round table. But your B vitamins, please, I implore you, parents, do not go down the cereal aisle. Dr. Bill said it's eating crap. If you can't pronounce it, it doesn't have to be ingested in it, and that's your body. Those B vitamins make you be as good as you can be. B3, B6, B9, B12. You need that folic acid. Oftentimes, one of the things that is missing is a folic acid deficiency, and that will be rejuvenated with these children that are exceptional, that need to move. We were designed to move. Did you ever see a baby come out of the mother's womb and not move? They're crying like everything. Why? Because they're living. So keep that in mind. And the last thing that I want to share is Les Brown's quote with this, because he said, children are 40% of our population, but 100% of our future. But when we do right by 100% of our future as adults, they will have 100% of their future. So let's just have a round table with some of the best of the best. Bill, I'm going to start with you. The best of the best of my buddy best Dr. Talk. What's your last just word of wisdom here? Circling around.
The last word of wisdom, I just go back and Nike up, just go and do it. It's always, it's easy to get information. It's easy to get information and get that up. We have best-selling books, and we're getting more and more. And we have great TED Talks. We have great clinics where people can do that. And I was talking to somebody about AI. I said, AI is awesome. It's a force multiplier. We're able to get more things. But eventually, somebody has to swing the hammer. And so it always comes back down to taking all that. If we have the ammunition, you have to take the action. So it's great to meal prep, but eat the damn food. It's great to stand up straight, but move around, start your exercise, be kind. Eventually, you're going to have to sit down and go into prayer and meditation to connect with above and inside. So just do it. Don't get overwhelmed by it, because there's lots of rules. We can go down rabbit holes, but just start with the basics and get it down and make it part of your life. Just like they said, we've got to live the life and not just exist through it. And we should be, I came up with this the other day. I said, we should be running towards our dreams with the same enthusiasm we run away from our fears. And drop that. But that just kind of came, because we're really motivated when the house is on fire and the wolves are at the door, and what do I do? How do I do that? That's it. What if we woke up with the same thing, and because you've moved and you've taken your vitamins and you've done your gravity ball and you've gotten all your good water and you've done everything and you've meditated like that. So go out and live your life with such passion that you can't be denied anything that you want. And how awesome is it at the end of the day, you go to sleep knowing that like you've ticked all the boxes and you did the best you can every single day, and get around people that are going to lift you up. You can stand on the shoulders of them, and then you get stronger and you can lift people up on your shoulders, and you can write your own best-selling book in 2 different categories and get your own TED Talk and impact your own family and sing terrible songs at the high levels of the high notes as they're getting on there. So that's
and come in and heal yourself from a debilitating disease because you found natural care. And that's, I just had to lead that in with you, Bill. So Mike, every day
it happens.
Every day. Mike, what is your everyday? Last 1 minute. Let's hear it.
Oh, well, we're talking about kids and going to school. So I guess I want to sum up two things. Number one, parents, please don't try to live vicariously through your kids. Don't push them in a certain direction because of your needs and wants. Just observe your kids and let them discover and help them, guide them to discover their passions and their purpose. And instead of fighting those, just support them all the way through. So that's number one. Take a moment to think about it and be their supporter, not their adversary. Number two, we kind of live in a system where we kind of have to go to school unless you can homeschool them. But still, there's all these basic things. I think Bill is right. We need to write and we need to be able to read. But other than that, many of those things we learn in school are useless. That could be another argument. But parents, so what's your job? Your job is life skills. Your job is life skills, which is preparing food, maybe even hunting for food, meditation, controlling your emotions and your feelings, setting goals, purpose. All those things are not learned in school, but those are the things that will make your kids successful. So as a parent, that's your job, because you know they don't learn it in school. So take that responsibility, find their purpose, and teach them life skills, because that's not happening in school. That's your duty. That's your responsibility. And the video games and the TV are not going to do that. So you need to carve out that time for them.
Beautiful, Mike. And life skills, that's what it's on. Just be that coach and be that supporter. So Miss Frozen singer, international 2 times best-selling author in 3 countries and 2 toughest categories that we could have possibly named, but hey, it was going to happen. Renee, what's your last thoughts? Are you muted? You're frozen.
Well, I love all of
the Frozen. I was talking about Frozen and the music, and you got frozen.
Oh,
try again.
I love all of the comments that we've heard today. Just so insightful and from the heart, and just a wealth of experience. And I'm so glad, Dr. Mike, that you brought up life skills. That is something where we really focus on that in our house, and we love to celebrate. Life is a celebration, and when we celebrate outside of academic accomplishments, I think it does so much for our children, and it gives them so much to be able to draw from. Right now I have a child in college, and it's her first year, and she loves every sport. She's done about anything, and it's her life. She's cooking every single day. She does not trust the cafeteria. She's not going to leave her health, to some other, convenient source.
The crap, as Bill said, sure.
And it's just awesome to watch her right now, and to just be a part of that, supporting her with recipes and just empowering the kids. And in fact, what was so funny is I shared a bit today about Michelle, my firstborn. Something that came up that was so funny at the time was that our house was in need of repair. We had some water dripping. And she went ahead and she took it upon herself to call the repair person. We didn't even know about it.
Well, making that comes over. That's beautiful, Renee, because it's that one. That is a drop from my thing to make her proactive. So for the sake of time, I'll just say this is what I know about this. To grind this all up, make them proactive, life skills. Go ahead and make them aware and abundant. And frankly, this is how I'm going to tie it up, because passion and purpose and prevention, make them aware, but make them fearless. Fearless stands for give them faith, give them with enthusiasm and an attitude with resolve and results. Teach them love, as Bernie Siegel would say, because it is the largest and most expansive emotion in the universe. Come in there with that, doing it every day, and they will have a sense of purpose. Got you, Mike. And they will be successful in whatever they do. and you will be that support. There's that third S. So as we just wind this up, and check us out, check all of our doctors out, and check our book out as well. We'd love to hit the other 10 countries in Amazon. We've got them posted, but just remember, we will be back here on the 26th of October. We'll be talking about immune system, your immune system. I'm immune. We can get it through on the 26th. So join us, and know that we'll be taking a break. I'm taking a spiritual retreat next week. We will be back on the 9th of October with Dr. James Marinakis, who is my partner in Healthopedia. We're going to be kicking off our live event in Boca Raton on the 22nd of February, 3 days of an experiential epiphany on health. But just remember, ladies and gentlemen, mind your health, and then you will achieve your wealth. You see, your macro living begins with your macro life. Parents, you have that macro life. Show your children about micro living. Show them, yes, they are 100% of our future. And when you give them 100%, guess what? They will have 100% of your future and theirs as well. Together, we make this connectivity between generations. So until next time, I will say, just have a great Healthopedia and a Doctor Talk Sandbox day. And we'll say, ciao for now. I just wanted to say, I just adore you, and you missed out. Guess what?
What's that?
You will be. It's Ladies Before Gentlemen, the 2.0 version of Healthopedia, because I don't know how to retire, is going ahead, and it will be Women's Essence, because women, it's that essence of a woman. And I think Dr. Glenn is actually, I wanted to thank you for that, because I think Dr. Glenn is going to help me with the book. We're talking about him being a big part of that because of him being with women so much in his practice. Yeah. And
that's pretty good. You know what, you would really like to, his stuff, when we did his menopause, I mean, it's his show. I just do a part of it. And, but it's really amazing. And it just goes to show how screwed up Western medicine is in what they're doing. So, but that would be really good for you to do. I got another friend for you. She's more of a spiritual healer, but coach. But I don't know if you have her book, but she wrote The Modern Woman, and she talked about the four archetypes of women, and when they get out of sync, how that kind of screws them up. That might be something good for it.
Right. And by the way, this is where you will not have an excuse. You will be because Ladies Before Gentlemen. So get ready. We're going to go ahead and probably start in January. It'll be out in May, because you got to give it time to marinate. Then Dr. Michael is going to host our second virtual, or actually our live summit with Healthopedia out in Denver in July, because I don't do snow. That's what we're doing. And then we'll be in LA in November.
Oh, that'll be good.
And because Jeremy Hoffman and Jason Estes, they're building the largest rooftop all natural spa in downtown LA.
Oh my God. LA needs that.
Yeah, I think so. And so you can get over the homeless people and whatever. But I am going to connect you with Dr. Mark Chavez. You will love him, but
Mark Chavez.
Does that name sound familiar? But he's his brand is the Health MD. He's a board certified ER, internal emergency medicine doctor, but he just lost his health because of it. Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's such an evil. It's such an evil entity. You know what? I'm getting to the point. I don't trust. Oh my God! I don't trust anything.
I didn't even say this. Yeah.
My daughter just got suspended from school, and she's 10 because she tapped us she has an aide, and she tapped her to get her attention, and the snowflake aide said she didn't feel safe, that she got stabbed by, oh my God, it was, and then my ex-wife went down there, and then she got emotional, so I had to go clear. But it's just the way that the schools work, and they do this. And, you know, we know what healthcare is like, and then the government system, what that's like.
Oh, and I'm telling you, Bill, I know what happened with this book. Okay. We could not, I know the first 10 minutes, I got 200 sales because I know my tribe. And at 6 hours into day one, it showed up that we had 100 sales. Just like remember how I was deplatformed from Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Amazon went in with AI, and our universal link that we ended up now making sure it was live. We had to go through all kinds of, we are really tracking alternative medicine. That's what we got back when I talked to somebody with Amazon yesterday. I said, fix it. Fix it. I'm a force to be reckoned with. Fix it. I'm telling you, it's that darkness. So that's why we're having ladies first. It'll be a very feminine book. I didn't want to say female power, so the women had to think that they had to grow a set. Now, I'm not like that at all. But then we're coming back in November. We'll launch Real Men Are Aware. Like the title? Remember how I did that one summit on that? So you're going to be in that book, so you might as well just get ready. Even if I have to ghostwrite it for you, and I'll put it on Otter AI. But when they were doing this AI thing, I just wanted to see what Monica on Google would pull up. I said, what are the best supplements for children? You know what it said? Gummies and the Flintstones.
Oh, God.
So I didn't want to go into that path and get deplatformed again when I said with AI, but I mean, Bill, Janekshak, can I just tell you, I adore you.
Oh, back at you, sister. Back at you. It's just fun. But you know, the interesting thing is, I got to get with Mike too. I just kind of going around. It's the passion. There's enough people that think right.
Yes.
And I'm getting patients now that because I do mostly cash. I mean, I'm on a couple of insurance stuff, but everything's mostly cash.
Right.
And they get it. They get it. They go, I wait 3 hours to see the doctor for 2 minutes to get me ibuprofen that I could have done it at home. They don't do anything.
No.
And they're fed up. And then that's why I tell people, I say, you can use your insurance so you can get results. I said, but you can't do both because it just doesn't work that way.
There you go.
Said, so this is what I can do. And we can help you get here if this is your goal. But if you just want to pretend like you're being treated and the doctor will pretend like he's doing something for you, and you can just kind of go through this, there's another result that you're going to get. But you know, the biggest thing that just drives me crazy.
What's that?
Is like after every new patient, I said, I get all the information. I said, okay, so what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
And they tell me, well, I want my headaches to go away, my stomach to do my hormones to be balanced. I said, okay, well, now answer my question. Well, I did. I said, no, you told me what you don't want. I said, what are we shooting for? Because as soon as you start feeling a little better and you're going to compare yourself to this diseased person, if the only thing is that you want to get better enough so you can go back doing the same crap that got you into this position before, we're going to have the same conversation in a couple months or maybe a year. And as you get older, the episodes are going to get closer and closer until you can't tell the beginning of one episode and the end of the other one. And that's your life.
Yes.
If that's what you want to do, you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You don't have to take up my time. You can go over and do that. But they don't know. When I ask them, I get crickets and I get the deer in the headlights and they go, what do I want? They forget how to dream.
I loved what you said about this about great. And I thought, I remember I said that on Clubhouse about fearless. See, that we just feed into one another like crazy. And I know that it's a long ways to go, but maybe you can come up to Dr. Michaels in Colorado. I just would love for you to meet Dr. Jim Marinakis. You know, we've decided to incorporate with Healthopedia. And he said, I always knew that I would take my message to the world. I didn't know that it was going to be through one of my students who's a marketing whiz. And he asked me, Bill, that was like, I cried. And you know, the cool thing is you have enough passion. Mike has enough passion. We don't have to do the same thing. We can do it in concert with what we are doing and who we are being, these human becomings. I mean, crime and Netley. Okay. And when you see this book, when you see it in your hands, do you know this was an 18-year-old kid that made this graphic for me when my graphic designer was MIA? And I said, Jamie, she was one of our authors. I said, you know everybody. Do you know anybody that could do a graphic? Just well, my son is going to school in graphic design. The only thing he's done is basketball courts, but he made this design.
Wow.
I mean, see, we're teaching that next generation. You're teaching your 10-year-old daughter that you don't have to stand up to this. And it's like my youngest granddaughter who got kicked out of school because she went ahead when we were doing, you know, for Jay and everything, helping him with his motion. And she asked me, she said, remember, I know I told you this. Oh, well, Farmore, that's what I'm called. But Farmore, what are you up to? I said, well, actually, I'm suing the federal government. And she thought it was so cool. So she went ahead and I sent it to her on her dad's phone. So dad knew about it. She printed that out and she said, this is my show and tell. I call her Farmo, but she's my grandma. She's suing the federal government because they were bad. And you know, she got suspended for school in first grade. Yes. Yeah, I never told you.
No, I didn't know she got suspended for that.
She ended up in the principal's office. And my son, who is 6'5", they're 6'5" and 6'7", so you don't mess around. He goes, says she did nothing wrong. What you're trying to do is put her in a box. She said, I wasn't disrespectful. I just told him the news. That's what show and tell is. I mean, she just did not back down. So then she didn't like the fact that they were going to make a flower garden at Lawton Elementary where she was this summer. And she said, children don't need to know about flowers. They need to know about the 4 food groups. And she said, I got in trouble again. She said, it seems like it's every other year. Now she's in 3rd grade. Right. And she said, and because she made a poster, she said, let's stand up to Lawton Elementary and keep our garden. And she put it on every drinking fountain and she got suspended.
Wow, that's awesome.
And she said, what did I do? She said, I got in trouble again. I said, well, but you've got a great idea. Guess what? You've got parents, you've got a project manager and your dad, and you've got an MD with your mom. She said, so we talking this summer. She said, I'm going to go ahead and ask mom and dad to get the parents together and the kids that really want to. So she took it upon herself. I don't know where she gets it from. Do you?
No, I wouldn't. I'd have no idea.
No. And do you know, I got a text from her today. She said, guess what? The plan to have us all together work because they're suspending, removing the garden. She will remember that the rest of her life.
Well, it's a good thing because the longer they're in that system and they don't fight it when they're young, they get beat down. They don't want kids to come out and have dreams. They want them to be zombies. Yeah.
Factory, the day of the zombie. Yeah. So I mean, like I said, if you want to come out and fly out, because Florida's kind of cool, and in February, check it out. What Dr. Jim and I are doing. It's not going to be one of these summits. We already decided where you get all this information, and you can only get 150 people. I don't want it large, but and then you have to take a month off to recoup. No, this is going to be experiential. And see, I know once you see what we're doing here, because your message, Bill, and see Dr. Mark, Kimberly Meredith, Suzanne Finder, and who else? There's somebody, I think there's 4 that out. Who am I forgetting? That's bad. Out in Southern California. Well, and then Jeremy Hoffman goes back and forth. He's, his company is only worth $500 million and he's 28.
What
Isn't
a
that
loser.
crazy?
What a
And
loser.
so see, once you see what we're doing, I know you're going to incorporate this because you're just so aware. And Jim and I talked about it. He goes, we need to have this in about 7 areas in the United States. And it's just how he does this. It's going to be an epiphany. So check it out on my website. I'd love to have you.
It would be it's definitely good because there's enough people in those group that we need to resonate at the same level, but you have to have those different pods so we can interconnect, because the powers that be like to separate that so that the signal's weaker.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah, I'm going to be going out to Colorado. I'm working with some dentists on some natural airway, TMJ, and brain stuff. There's amazing stuff that the dentists are doing with like orthodontia without braces, without Invisalign, by alignment. So I'm working out with that. And Mike, who's working out there, that I brought in,
right,
with that. So I'm going to be going back and forth through Colorado. I got a lot of stuff, a lot of invites to Colorado lately.
Well,
maybe I'm going to be moving back to America. Well, they're kind of liberal over there, though, too.
Yeah, but or move to Florida. We'll take you too. So 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. I just love talking to you. I've got to go get tires because it was starting to vibrate, and I took it to the tire place, and they said, who else drives on 4 tires that are wearing thin on the rim and one is bald? I said, me. I don't pay attention.
They're on the bottom. You don't need, when your vision's higher, you don't look below. So you just go, I got to go record a podcast anyway. So
okay, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of February. You're with us. I'm going to meet you. I'll send it the info. Love you. Bye.